take advantage. I gotta take advantage of these nights. Looking this good, but then it's a question like, do you want to go outside and deal with people? And it's just like, no. But then also it's like, you are still single, so you might want to figure that shit out, kid. NANI? Dynamite. What's up? What's up? What's up? Get the big explosion. You got a reason to celebrate today. You feel me? How we turn this off? What's up, everybody? How you doing? My name is Heero. This is the Identity Booth. It's been a minute. It doesn't feel like it's been a minute, but July was the longest month of the year. And it was the longest month of the year primarily because this was my third best man activity. All hail the ones that came before. But my lovely brother married his longtime girlfriend and fiance, who is now officially my sister, and I got a whole bunch of new other family members. So it's all gravy. It's good. Clap it, like, welcome to the family. Welcome to the culture. You got a piece of it now. Don't act brand new. But I don't know if there's any pictures that I'll have in specific arrangement, but I'm just gonna have every picture I can think of posted up here. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was a double header, 2 weddings. And can I just say this? You gotta love seeing examples of why you're not gonna do shit the way other people do shit. They did the double wedding, a white wedding on Friday, and then a traditional wedding, Nigerian wedding on Saturday. Major shout out to the custom tux. I really fell in love with the tux. I mean, I look good. It was an honor to be swagged out. And the groom and the bride, they both looked amazing. I'm going to put my whole entire, all the images I have out there, but just, first and foremost, just thanks to all the friends, family members, everyone that, the blood, sweat, and tears that they put into making this happen. And even shout out to the people who were hating and couldn't be, who were trying to hold it back, and they still happen. It's a lot. It takes a lot to bring 2 families together, and a lot needs to be said about the resilience of my family. My family is very open, welcome arms. And at the beginning half of this, there was a lot of the 2 families not having the ability to coexist in the same place just because of time restraints, travel, things like that. But we were able to make it all work. And one thing that you got to do when you're joining 2 families together is make sure that you're accepting of your family members. Now, me and the mostly general part of the family are very close, but extended family, learning the culture, learning how things will operate moving forward, it takes a lot. So, I commend them for their ability to navigate those tough times, especially with emotions so high with the unification of 2 families. It's really a sight to see. But this isn't so much as this is just like my monthly wrap up, right? This is all it is to me. I was the best man, and from what I heard, I did a great job. I'll let people leave their comments about that in the chat, but I knew I had to show out and show up for my brother. That goes without saying. I know he had a lot on his mind, and there was always this part of me that wanted to just pull him aside and just ask him, are you okay? You need anything? And the comforting part about it was he didn't really feel that pressure, because he just said his go-to response was, can you ask Heero? Tell Heero. Ask Heero. And there's something comforting about that. I guess being me, being the big brother, being the leader of the family, being that security blanket, just to have the ability to garner that responsibility, in a sea of people he can choose to put his trust in. He trusts me the most. So I wear that with that feather with a certain gleam, and with the realization that this was a celebration, but it's not a celebration of me. It's always amazing to me to see how like unaware people are of situations, like how selfish they can be or how unprepared they can be. There's multiple situations where you got to check people, and it's amazing to see like the level of faith my brother has in certain people. And I think that's good to see, but then it's also inherently a reminder of why, people like me and him, we work so hard. We work so hard because certain people we couldn't rely on certain people. We don't have the capacity to trust other people. And it's not because they're bad people. It's just because life is hard. And when you're doing for yourself, it's hard to just look over your shoulders and be looking out for other people. There's only so many people who can truly do that. I believe me and my brother are one of those people. So Friday was the first event. That was the white wedding. Everything seems like a blur now. And the highlight for me was probably just the attention. When the professional photos come out, I'm very eager to see them. But I was just enamored. It feels like it's really dark in here. I heard the brighter your videos are, the more views you get. Think that's true? Let's find out. I'll start to warm me up. But the photos were really great. Yeah, did I like wearing a 3-piece suit in 98-degree weather? No. In the middle of downtown Chicago, but the photos were actually top notch. The photographers really rang through my hand. Maybe it's because I had the mindset. I was so interested in the photos and the things that they were doing, but it was really good to capture those memories. I think the wedding ceremony went really well. The thing about it is, I've been in 9 weddings, and every time you hear it or you think about it, you see the steps, you do the walkthroughs. None of that shit really matters because on the day of, everyone forgets everything. Literally, my brother forgot everything he was supposed to do. But for me, I'm always being the jokester that I am. I'm keeping this. I'm gonna keep doing this until I get bored. But I'm always going to fake like I lost the ring and give them a prop. For Jay's wedding, I gave him a pin ring from a grenade. And maybe there's a part of me that should tell other people, but I feel like that ruins it because I truly don't do it for laughs. I do it more for shock value. And I don't think no one captured this moment, which is also a sign of how respectful people were during the ceremony. They were just watching, they weren't really filming. But hopefully the videographers got this. But Jono was the only one who actually responded and was just like, "Where's the ring?" And it was so funny to me because it's just everyone's trying to look their best, but for me it's easy, right? I'm like, I'm here. I am the best. Like, so everything else is just extra. And there was a seamless transfer of the rings. I got my laugh in. My mom was cracking up at the front row because then this time I gave them like a princess ring and it lit up when she was like, "No, I don't want that." And I was like, "But look, it lights." I was like, "Look, it lights up." And she was like, "Where's the ring?" And I was like, "Oh, okay. Not my fault. I'm trying to save y'all some money." But ended up getting the ring. Good transfer. Everything went well. There was my father wasn't able to make it. I knew that this would be a difficult thing with my brother because he really wanted him there. I personally feel like amongst the three of us, my brother is the most affected by like our father not being there. Because when my dad left, I was already in college. Like, to me, I was moving. I was already heading. I had already gotten everything I needed from him. I received the full 18 years I needed from him. The required 18 years from him. You know, you can't ever replace your father, and it's always good to have him in your back pocket. But, you know, we'll make amends for that. We'll go do something in Nigeria, and we'll do a third wedding in Nigeria, I guess. I don't know. I know I'm not going to Nigeria this year. I spent so much money this year. From April till now, I've spent in excess of probably 20K for exorbitant things, for random things, for great things. None of it was a waste. And if I had to do it again next year, like if Nuffy came into the picture and was like, "Oh, I found the love of my life," and I had to cough up another 20K, another 30K, shit, even 40. If I'm keeping it 100, 50K, I'd do it. Clap it. Why not? Why not? You said it's family, right? But the money is the small part, and I'm gonna send a special shout out to my boy Keith, my light skinned brother. Keith is real talk part of the family. Keith, we have in our basement, we have shrines dedicated to a shrine dedicated to me for sure, but then Nuffy has like a pseudo one, and Lookman doesn't have one. But Keith definitely has his name and picture, and there are awards with Keith's name on them in our house, and it's just weird to think about that. Like, why isn't this hanging up in your mama's house? But that's just a sign of someone, like when he came, Keith would come over and, you know, oh, you won an award? Okay, your reward goes on this shrine. And it's just like, yeah, I'm part of it. So, and it takes me back to when we were in Colombia. Like, we were coming in together, and we were going through customs, and he was like, "So who's this to you?" I was like, "Oh, that's my brother." And he was like, "Y'all have different last names." I'm like, "Look, I'm not about to explain this shit to you." Like, the customer was like, "Yeah, I get it." Okay. Like, I'm not here to explain that to you. But Keith really showed up for Luke, and his speech was really impactful. He told it like it is. He's like, you know, Luke is an inspiration to all of us. And it didn't really dawn on me like as much how much of an impact Luke has on his friends. And Keith has always been on the straight and narrow, and just been a dude that really takes care of himself. So it was good to see Luke being appreciated and getting his flowers from his past. The white wedding went on. Some of the things I remember was like the bureaucracy. There was a bunch of like bureaucracy about. We got there like 6 hours before the wedding started because we have to, pictures, dressing, makeup, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have any food for you, or we don't have any trash bags or any water, any coffee." And it's just like, okay, cool, we'll go get that stuff. Oh, you can't bring it in the building. And they were fighting us about this. And I just remember when I went down there to go get the food and drinks, he was like, "Is that foods and drinks from outside?" And I was like, "No," and just kept walking. And the thing about it is, if you walk with a purpose, very weaker people can't stop you. You feel me? Clap that shit. Sorry, my mom. You feel me? People can't really stop you. There's nothing they can do to you. Like, I'm a canon event. You have to yield to the greater force. And it just was a constant reminder of like why I am the way I am, because like weaker and lesser people have done less. Like a door guy isn't going to be the reason why I'm sitting here hungry or XYZ. But also it's a sign of like, you need people like me to like push the tempo. You need people who are going to break the rules. That's what you need. You need somebody who can break the rules, someone who can finesse the system, someone who's not afraid to buy their way into a comfortable situation. That's what I'm a firm believer in. I will pay for efficiency. I will pay for effectiveness. I will pay for comfort. It is a necessity for me. You want to take me to a concert? I got to be in a VIP booth. Oh, that's not. You're gonna be far away. You're not gonna experience. But really, me going to the concert is overkill. I'd rather buy a ticket and just. I can buy the CD, and if I'm keeping it 100, I can listen to it on YouTube. I got ad free. So with that being said, there was also a great tradition I picked up. I got the King's Hand from the Game of Thrones. Everyone that saw me wear this pin recognized it immediately. I have never watched Game of Thrones, so I had to pretend. When someone asked me who's my favorite character, I was like, "Oh, Jon Snow. What's your favorite sex? The Red Wedding. How can you say no?" Like, but these are just things that were in the zeitgeist. These were things that were number one in Twitter at the time when it happened. So it's just something I picked up through osmosis. But to give it to the best man of the person of the last wedding you were in, so I think that's really cool. It's something I'll give to my best man and just let the tradition keep going. Unless the person who gave it to me, Shupo gave it to me, but I doubt Shupo's probably still drunk, so he probably doesn't even remember that he gave it to me. He in his mind, he just lost it. But if he ever watches this, which I doubt he will, if he wants it back, he can have it. He can have it back. Something that came up a lot was I was asked 48 times, "Where's my girlfriend? Where's my date?" One, I think being the first son going to a second son's wedding, especially when the buzz has always been on you. Luke is, at least in our family, there was a lot of people that I felt should have been at the first wedding that weren't there. And he chose the list. The white wedding was definitely mostly for Jonna and the Americans. So I understand him wanting to make space for them. But at the same time, I guess like more people are always going to be interested in the firstborn. The firstborn just carries that title, and you don't want that to be the overshadowing thing. Like, oh, the first son is here with his wife, or his girlfriend, or you, especially if it's not someone the family doesn't know. It was just too much. There was a few people who asked to be my date, and there was a few people that were wondering if they were going to be asked to get my date. Ultimately, I just decided to bring nobody. And I think that was better off for me because I wouldn't have been the best man. Look, you're the best man. You have only two jobs, and that's really to make sure the groom stays calm and pretty much make sure shit gets done on the day of. You're the person who double checks everyone's outfits to make sure they works. You're the person who buys extra pair of everything. So when Mike forgot his bow tie, cufflinks, and button covers, and none of his shit fit, but I had all extras, so he wore that shit, and it was just wild to think like, yo, You're about to be left out of this wedding because you don't have any of your shit. And there was a part of me that said, if I didn't say anything, would I have been wrong? But ultimately, it's not about me. It's about my brother. My brother said he wanted you in there, so I'm going to get you in there. And I remember when we were doing the inventory for me to get the shit back from him, he had lost the cufflink. And he was just like, yeah, just send me the bill. Like, even when you save him, he just can't get right. So there was that situation. But, once again, minute. In my book, it was a 3 out of 10 as far as problems. But if you are, here's some things to think about if you're going to be best man. As a person who's been a best man, 3 weddings in 3 situations, 3 different financial situations, here's what you'll be extremely grateful for the people who just come prepared. The Giovannas, the Corys, that just come in, even Brandon, asked a ton of questions, but it's better to have these questions suited out and done for. You have to make tough decisions, and you're going to have to make decisions that people might not like you for. I think back to Jay's wedding, the night before the wedding, I was sitting there looking at my outfit, and I was just thinking to myself, like, damn, we did get the pants today from Jay. We got our pants custom made. but I didn't have a chance to try them on because of all the festivities throughout the day. I said, let me just try these bitches on like 10 p.m. Don't fit. I'm supposed to be heading over there to play Smash Brothers with them, but my pants don't fit, so I can think of at least 3 other people in the group whose pants don't fit. Hit them up. Their pants don't fit. So I'm searching for the information that I need to get this shit done and fixed. And, Jay didn't have to say nothing to me. He knew. I already knew what I had to do. That was my job. So for me, it'd be nice. I think it would be nice to pick my brother as the best man, just to keep it traditional. But I don't think my brother would have the attention span or the time to dedicate to. The amount of work I did being the best man was too difficult for someone like him. Not because I don't think he's capable. It's just that he doesn't. That's not. He doesn't have the bandwidth for it. He's an agent. He's responsible for multi-million-dollar contracts. I can't expect him to be sitting around trying to make sure people have their shit together. Now, I work in healthcare and I save people's lives. Do I feel like that's warranted? Well, I have PTO. I held his phone for 6 hours, and in the 6 hours he had 27. He had 27 missed calls and like 130 missed text messages. Like, people just don't care that it's your day. Money's in the business, so, giving him those things and those gifts. And I think another thing is, as a best man, a great tradition I like to do is, if they don't have their feet done or their hands done, send them to do that, but also get them that 1 hour massage. I sent my brother to Air, and I was going to send him for a solo trip, but they didn't have appointments till 9 p.m. And I found out that they did, they had the couple ones, and that couple one was at 9 a.m. I was like, all right, get your fiance to be and send her ass there too. Come on. She's a sister now. She might as well go on, hey, get it. Let's not stand on formalities.
Let's not stand on ceremony here.
Part of the family. You're part of the family. Get the treatment, and that is just my gift to them, just to relax, to recruit, like just before the calm before the storm. I enjoyed doing that for them. I enjoyed seeing that for them. The DJ for the first night was also pretty amazing, pretty great. But before I even wrap into that, let me just wrap up being the best man. When you're trying to be the best man, your job is to be fun. Your job is to be energetic. Your job is to be the problem solver. People are gonna shout at you, and you got to take it in stride. And you also have to be able to firmly redirect energy. When the groom says he wants to be left alone, mom, dads, whoever it is that's trying to get access, they got to be redirected. I think from a financial standpoint, just depending on how big the wedding is or what the wedding is, I think you need to be ready upwards to spending $2,000 on the day of, or the trip worth of it, from paying for meals, paying for activities, alcohol. Like, I didn't drink alcohol once. I haven't had a drink in my life, and I think I spent easily $500 on alcohol. So it's just something you got to do. You're the best man for a reason. You literally are the best man for the job. So take it in stride. I got compliments throughout the day, throughout the night about it. It brings me a sense of pride to know that people know, like, no, my brother, he would take care of it. And shout out to his twin sister, Nuffy. Nuffy held it down. She was the pseudo best lady or maid of honor. And I think this is more so because she's just aware of the culture and aware of what to do. But she just knows, she understands what's needed to make the system work. The night of, like I said, the ceremony went well. The DJ went well. Like, the DJ for the first night went ham. It's kind of wild that he wasn't the DJ for the second night. The second DJ I heard was pretty trash. From his lack of communication. Anything, like, when you're dealing with Nigerians, you just know. When you're dealing with Nigerians, you just gotta know, like, shit ain't gonna be what it's supposed to be. And there's this blind trust that the older generation has with themselves. I think, like, one of the food orders from Kato was wrong. The moi moi was just water. or just the diluted water at one point. Um, these weren't difficult things to do by no stretch of the imagination, but as the older generation starts to fan out and become less able to do these things, it becomes harder to find newer, reliable sources. And I was just talking to my sister and brother about this. Like um, we when we were younger, we used to have a building we would rent out for our parties, and then that territory became too ran down, and the building got condemned. And there was a part of us that was like, our older generation haven't bought new territories. So now we have to have these parties further and further outside of the city because it's either too expensive or they don't allow certain things. Like, no one in the Nigerian culture does like order menus and has menu lists. Like, you just come in and you point to what you want to eat and they make it for you in 30 minutes. And when they do a catering event, they also like just pick and choose certain things. So it's just weird to me to see that they haven't evolved. Like, I made a fake receipt because said and said company wants to. And then when you see how they treat you when you get there, it's kind of telling. Like, they were telling us like, oh, you said you were only going to have 5 coolers of rice. Well, you have 8, so we're not opening the next 3. So it's like you're gonna let the food go to waste. Like, it was just one of those weird things where it's just like, these people don't have a vested interest in truly serving us or giving us the top-notch service we deserve or what we paid for, because it wasn't cheap. So the question becomes, why don't we have our own? And this is something that reigns true in the black community for sure, but this is the Nigerian culture, Nigerian community. And I think we're suffering from that stigma because when our parents came here, they just got the jobs. They never created jobs, right? They just got the jobs. They never created jobs. We don't do this. So it once again it leans on our generation to do that. And I don't think it would be a bad idea if a group of us came together, got some real estate, and got 2 or 3 of these buildings, and turned them into our designated party areas where they follow. We get our people to run it. We get our people to manage it, and then once we make it look cool, we sort of just we sell it back to the community to make money, and let other cultures come in. And that's something that was really on the top of my mind after seeing how, like, you go to the South. Did the second wedding at the South Shore Cultural Center, and we were asking for garbage bags. Just, hey, can we get garbage bags? We're up here eating. We don't want to throw these into empty bags or empty cans. Oh no, your caterers have to give you that. It's just like, shut the fuck up. Like, stop. It's just like the nitpicking. That shit right there was driving me insane because it was the same thing with the food there. I walked in with seven bottles of alcohol, and they were just like, "Is that part of y'all's? Is that part of y'all?" Hey, I literally told the lady, with all due respect, stop talking to me. And she was just like, okay. Because you don't have the power to do anything, but you're just trying to be a nuisance. And that's even worse than being a tattletale. Like, you don't have the power you're not shutting down this event because I brought alcohol in here that's not on the catering list. So just either find me or just shut up. And then, Nigerians don't really respect time or anything like that. So, day 1 wrapped up. I'm gonna put a link to the speech. I'll probably just put a minute in here. That was the highlight of the speech. I think there was probably some more better. There was probably better parts, but the speech went well. The DJ went ham for the first night. The first night was way better to me, just because I think it was way smaller. Now night 2 was. Night 2 was a fucking test in endurance. Like, you definitely had to get your 8 hours of sleep, and you definitely had to be ready to go. The outfits, I really enjoyed the outfits. I always feel more comfortable in my Nigerian attires. The color, to see the wave of orange and support that my brother got really spoke volumes to me. But I feel like there was still people missing. There are certain people that should have been there that would have been, but also I wasn't really close with the invitation list. I personally invited no one, as once again, I didn't think I didn't think there was anybody I knew so well that they had to be at my brother's wedding. Um, sure, you could think of a few people, Jeremiah, Piggy, but these aren't people that have close ties to my brother. And then, barring me having a partner, I didn't think it was reason for me to have anyone there. Um, the Nigerian aspect of it and a lot of the customs and cultures, kudos to my brother for letting it ride. For me, it just didn't seem. I'm very interested to know how like my shit's gonna go because my brother is very close with his faith and his religion. I'm not. I don't, like for me, I'm not paying for some dude to come pray over me. And some of the sly remarks that my mom gave were like made me say like, it, 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 you think if you think these words are so strong and so powerful, they should come free to everyone. And she had no retort for that. She was like, well, good luck to you guys if you don't want to do the full ceremony this way. And it's just like, once again, we don't have this property to ourselves. We have to be out here by 11:30. So if you guys had done a better job of allocating land when you got here, I understand you guys weren't making as much as we were making right now, but there was just a lot of like customs and cultures that they were expecting to be seen and they just couldn't be done because of time constraints. Like you're fusing two cultures here and you're doing it on a timeline. The DJ was trash because for the second night because he like the old school songs, the Sunny Day and shit like that gets the old folks going. The traditional wedding is all about getting old people to donate their coins. And I don't know how much they made. I'm pretty sure they made well over 10K that night. My sister made back whatever she spent for the weekend. I didn't make back anything, but also like part of the traditional culture, I'm the best man. Like literally when I dropped them off at their hotel, I was the last person to see them, I believe. Yeah, I would have been the last person to see them. And I emptied out my pocket, gave them the 400 in big notes, the 200 in little notes, gave all that shit to them. And I just took $10 and I made $10 of change in singles and left. But ultimately, that's what you want to do. Like that's how you want it to be. You want to leave with less than what you came with in that situation. Saturday night was really a blur. I got to meet a lot of people. It was once again really good to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in years. My mother's 60th was 4 years ago. So I saw like Yinka and a lot, like, cause it's kind of strange cause I am 34. So the crowd, my age mates are, there's very few people my age in my group. There's people that are older than me, and then there's people that is younger than me, which will fall into my brother's group. But we're all so close. So like my brother's 32. The people that are older than me are 36. I'm 34. So we're like 2 years apart. So I always feel this. So there's this closer connection between the younger ones and the older ones because they're more distinct. But it's like I'm sort of in the younger group, but I don't know too many of the older group, or they're like Tuji and them. They're older than me, but they look older than me by much, but they're only older than me by a year. But he has a whole family and a wife, so it's just like has so many more steps above me. But it was good to see some old faces. Jita came through. Tolu was there. It was just nice to see these people make it. Some of his childhood friends, 40, his lovely wife. What's his name? BC was there. It was great. I think I saw. I don't know who the person was that I saw, but I saw one of them. It was just good to see a lot of the faces I used to see in our backyard when we were playing basketball back in the Cal City days. I don't really know if there's anything else that just like stood out to me or anything that, and at the time there was a lot of like heightened emotions. Like it was for when I was at Jay's wedding. It just felt like a lot of heightened emotions about what it means for two people to come together and be bonded. I think they did it right. I think it was just a really beautiful situation. And above all else, it was really interesting to see my brother express himself and lay it out for everybody. To hear him say, I get up and work hard to make you happy. Like you're doing like what it means to want to truly take care of somebody, to rescue them from their situation and to have the ability to do it. When he said I wake up every morning at 6 a.m., not because I want to, but because I love you. That was intense. Like, that was interesting to hear. Like, he saw this person who was being caged by a situation and wanted to give her the platform, the ground to breathe and move freely. And that because of it, she became a doctor. And that only adds to the gravitas of the situation. So it was interesting to hear that perspective. Like, you wanted to give this, you do what you do to give this person a better life, which was very interesting to hear. And with that being said, I wish, it's not really about me wishing them luck. Like, yeah, we ain't doing this shit again. I think it's more so just me being truly like at peace with the situation. I sit back. I sit back with a smug look on my face, thinking like, we did that shit right, and that's all I ever really want to be able to say. I just want people to be able to look back and say, yeah, Lukman and his family, they did it right. And to hear the reviews of everyone saying, oh, it was like a movie. There was so much love. There was like, people could see where like we get our love from in our family. Like, to be an Abdullah is a fucking baller ass thing. Like, it's 10 out of 10. You're definitely gonna enjoy yourself. So I could definitely see like where people's admiration for, especially the kids, because this wedding wasn't planned by our older generation. That's a major ass plug right there. This wedding wasn't planned or paid for by parents. This wedding was planned and paid for by the children. This is our generation further proving we've been had to get ourselves right, and it's a feather in all of our caps. Like, the things we had to do, it goes without saying that we didn't. It's not that we didn't have help. The Dyros were a fundamental part. The Adelatones were a fundamental part. The Fasholas, the Suleimans. But it goes. We'd be lost. I think the real MVP is my nieces and nephews, baby Biliki and them, all of them coming through, because those were the only kids that came, and they're the only ones that could sweep up the money. And to think like family members, oh, we want to keep this as an adults only. Like, shut up and let them kids make some money. So that was the first time I got to meet them. It was very interesting, and I hope if they remember me, who knows. But I gave them a little cash and a little sum, just for their hard work. And I know Luke said he sent them some money. Their mom, our cousin, super nice. But it was just nice to see everybody. I burnt up a lot of my social energy battery. In fact, this week was inherently miserable because I was just tired. I was still just very much tired, and I immediately tried to go back into my routine without easing myself into it. Went to the gym and ran 2 miles, like in some of my best qualifying times, and then tried to stay up late the first night, 1 p.m. to do a late night stream. And I would completely crash. Like, I literally just couldn't stay awake all this week. I was just in pain all this week. And I had so much work to catch up with at work. And then I had surgery on Wednesday. So I was beating myself up. I am grateful I took Monday off. But, like, I think moving forward, definitely do an ease back in week for sure. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my hair. Like, I can't. I wish my sister was here still because we could have gone and got sushi tonight. I don't know. Take advantage. I gotta take advantage of these nights. Looking this good, but then it's a question like, do you want to go outside and deal with people? And it's just like, no. But then also it's like, you are still single, so you might want to figure that shit out, kid. But I don't know. But I appreciate you guys kicking it with me. This was a wrap of July. Man, hopefully August is eventful. But August is the time to make money. That's how I'm feeling. Like, we got to get back to the grind and figure out what we want to do. I found like 4 houses that I really want to see. Upwards of $450,000. Some 5 bedrooms, really nice places. I'm gonna go check them out. And I also came across a new thing I like doing. I think I'm gonna go get a U-Haul truck and buy 5 storage houses and pack them up and I'm gonna just pick a weekend and do it, and I'm gonna just document it. I don't know why I'm so into this now all of a sudden, but it's something that I want to do. So I'm gonna be looking into that. I'll let you guys know how that goes or setting that up. I feel like I want to wait till Nuffy gets here so I can do it with her. It'll be fun. It'll be fun if I have a partner in crime. But yo, clap it. That's it. That's the show. We appreciate you. There's no fireworks. Not working. But I'll see you guys next month. Take care. Yeah, take care.